Good morning.
Morning.
Yeah, give me just a little volume. I want to make sure everybody hears. How's everybody doing today? Good. When I came here and heard the music, I was like, am I in the right place? Because I thought y'all were having a party. I mean, this is great. And I want to applaud Nelson for even actually doing this and even including, as he said, the music, because it really does help you get ready for the week ahead. Nelson asked me to come in and just share a couple encouraging words with y'all. And I guarantee you one thing I guarantee, this is my big promise. If you apply everything that I tell you, I can guarantee you that your life will be better. Okay, I can guarantee you that your life will be better. One of the things Nelson wanted me to talk to you about was the importance of utilizing grace and God as your guidance. Having grace and God as your guidance. Now, when you think about grace, it's really unmerited favor. Something that you didn't earn, something that somebody gave you. A lot of us, we have mortgages or we have credit cards and they have what they call a grace period. And that's the time that, okay, it's due on this date, but they give you a couple of more days to actually be able to actually pay. Well, now when it comes to having grace in your life and with the people that you love and even with the people that you work with, having grace means that you extend to them a room to grow. Having 5 kids, I have to do that a lot. Because if I spank my children every time they mess up, I would have to contract it out. I'm serious. I would have to hire somebody to come in and do it because every time they messed up, if I didn't give them some grace, they would just think that I was a tyrant. Well, even on your job and even in your own life, there are going to be people that are going to disappoint you. They're going to make mistakes. And they're going to actually need your grace. Now somebody say, well, how is it that I'm supposed to extend grace? You can't give what you don't have. I'm going to say that again. You cannot give what you don't have. I guarantee if I ask anybody here right now, if you had a rutabaga in your pocket, unless you just snacked on them all day, you couldn't produce one. But imagine if as you walked up, I handed everybody a rutabaga. Now, you could either take it or you could reject it. But then if I asked how many people have it, those who took it, they could raise their hands. So when you have grace, when you have it, you can give it. Most of the people that don't actually give grace are the ones that haven't received it. And so as far as working, as far as dealing with people in your life, you have to be able to extend them a certain measure of grace. I know for myself that I used to get that from my mom. Because there were times when I messed up, times when I made mistakes, and I needed an opportunity to get it right. Because again, if she spanked me every time I messed up, I wouldn't be here. I would not be here. That reminds me, my oldest daughter, she was probably about maybe a year and a half. Now she's 25. I was giving her a bath and she had this horrible habit of drinking the bath water. And I told her, sweetheart, don't do that. Don't drink the water. And I had finished giving her a bath and I looked around and there was no towels in the bathroom to dry off. Now our house, and I kid you not, it was no bigger than this space right here. I could literally stand in the living room and lean and touch all 4 walls. It was just that small. So I walked from the bathroom and I said, look, stay right there and I'm gonna go and get a towel. It took me a total of 5 steps. 2 out of the bathroom, 3 to the towel pantry, and come back. And when I turned the corner, there she was, her little cute self, with the towel, holding it up, running water in her mouth. And I said, sweetie, and I stepped at her. I started to go at her. And in the time it took for me to walk from the door to the tub, have you ever seen those movies where they slow down time? Well, in that small fraction of a second, God told me, say, look, if I did to you what you're about to do to her, every time you messed up, you wouldn't be here today. So by the time I got to the tub, the only thing I could say was, sweetheart, don't do that. The point I'm trying to make is that once you receive grace, you should have it to give. You should be able to actually share it with the people around you. And not just on your job, but even with your family. even with the people that are close to you, the people that you care about, because all of us need a certain measure of grace. I also want to talk to you about the importance of leading and integrity. Leadership and integrity. Now, I really want to talk about integrity first because that feeds into leading. Integrity is nothing more than your intents, your words, and your actions lining up. I'm going to say that again. Integrity is your intents, your words, and your actions lining up. When you find somebody who has the intent to do something, they have the words they say that they're going to do, and then they follow through, that's integrity. A lot of you had the intent to have a job. You needed some money. That was your intentions. Then you actually back those up with your words. You came and you applied. And not only your spoken word are you hiring, but your written word. Because when you filled out the application, you put everything down to the best of your ability, to the best of your knowledge. But then not only that, your actions follow. Not only did you have the intent to get the job, not only did you ask, are they hiring? Not only did you come in and fill out the application, but guess what? You showed up. Your actions lined up with everything else that came before. And so that's what integrity is. Integrity means that your intent, your words, and your actions all line up. I remember when I was in college in Atlanta, of course, I'm in college, I'm going out, I'm hanging out at the club and stuff. When you would see somebody you were interested in, the first thing you would have was an intent to go speak to them. But then the next thing you would do is that you would actually go over there. And then you have to say something. You have to take the action needed in order to actually meet that individual. So when you talk about integrity, you have to follow through. It's not just, yes, I want a job. Yes, I filled out the application. But you find out, okay, what time should I be here? And you're there on time. Now, with that being said, I want to talk about integrity first because leadership, the only way that you really are willing to follow somebody, follow their lead is that they have integrity. They have integrity because if they lack integrity, you don't want to follow them. You don't want to do what they say because you know when it comes down to it, their intents, their words, and their actions don't line up. But if they do, it makes it easier for you to follow them. It makes it easier for you to not only follow, but they set an example for you as a leader. I don't want you to point at anybody right now, but think of somebody out here that you admire something about them. Their ability, their leadership, even when they make a mistake, they own up to it. I tell my kids all the time, I say, look, there's nothing wrong with needing help, but there's everything wrong with needing it and not being willing to ask. And people that are in leadership and people that are people of integrity, when they find out that, look, this is overwhelming, they don't have a problem asking for help. And that's what leaders do. Leaders are willing to put themselves in a position to where they have an overall goal for the entire company, and they're willing to work to that end. And so as a leader, as those who are coming up, you have an opportunity to lead people around you. I think the last time I was here, I had a chance to actually share with the fact that I don't care if you've been here for 6 months. If somebody started last week, to them, you're a leader. So they're looking to you. Now, you may not have the title, in fact, you may not be a manager or a task lead, but they're looking to you for your experience. The fact that you're here shows that they can look to you for the help that they need. And so being a leader doesn't necessarily have a title with it, but what it does, it has an expectation. Some of you have so much skills and knowledge about how to cut and how to install, how to deal with customers, how to handle problems, that you can share that with other people. But that's how you lead. That's how you put it out there. That's how you make other people understand that, look, if you need some help, again, going back to the grace part, just come to me. Just ask. I don't know what to do in this situation. I don't know how to handle this customer. This happened. This showed up. So don't allow your circumstances to keep you from actually getting the help that you need, because that's how people learn how to lead, and you become an example, a shining example of what it means to work for this great company. But the last thing that I want to talk about is how you can actually start leading from within. Now, when I say leading from within, all of us have goals and ambitions for our life. All of us have things that we're responsible for. Like I said before, I have 5 kids. Whether I want to or not, they are my responsibility. And I do want to, by the way. But they are my responsibility. They are my and they know this. They know this. And that's my driving force. You know, that was the point in time when I had little regard for what happened to me. Because the only person I was responsible for was myself. But once I started having children, I realized, look, certain stuff I can't do because that's going to put them in a disadvantaged situation. I had to make sure that I was taking care of them. But again, going back to integrity, my intent and my words lined up with my actions. There were certain places I couldn't go, certain things I couldn't do. So I had to make up in my mind, okay, look, is this really worth it? Is what I'm facing, is what I'm doing, is this decision I'm about to make going to make my life better or worse? Because again, I have people depending on me. I remember a couple of years ago, and you never know who's watching. I was putting on my annual summit, and I was running back and forth trying to figure out how to get everything. And the problem with this was that the summit was less than a mile from my house. The hotel was the Marriott on the airport, and I live, literally less than a mile from there. And so, of course, I forgot something. So I got in my car, so I was getting ready to leave, and I was going, and my youngest son, he's 13 now, he was 10 at the time, he said, hey, Dad, can I ride with you? I said, yeah, son, come on. And so he got in the car, and I'm just going through so many things in my mind as to what I need to get, because I really don't have time to come back again. So as I'm driving to the house, and without having a conversation, without being prompted, my 10-year-old son told me, he said, Dad, I'm proud of you. I'm proud of you. And in that moment, I stopped. Now, I'm still driving now, but inside I stopped and I realized he's watching me. He's watching me. And somebody's watching you. Somebody's looking to you for the encouragement, for the model. Somebody's looking to you for being that individual that they can pattern themselves after. Most people that are actors, they do a case study. If they're going to be a fry cook, they go and hang out around fry cooks. They see how they act, their mannerisms, how they talk. If they're going to be a lawyer, they do the same thing. If they're going to play a doctor, they do the same thing. Well, people in your life, there are people that are looking at you. Children, grandchildren, nieces and nephews. And you become their model. How you act and how you respond. But all that starts from the inside because it's not just about what you're doing, but it's about them. It's about being able to actually set an example that they can follow. And once I realized that, I started walking a little different. I started treating the situations with more sensitivity because I knew that my kids were watching. Of course, I always knew that they were watching, but I really understood that they were paying attention. I tell people all the time, why does our children and grandchildren, why do their heroes have to be on the screen or have to be on the field? Why can't they sit across the table from their heroes? Why can't they go fishing with their heroes? Why can't they have lunch with why can't they spend time with the people that most impact and shape their lives? And if we don't realize that, that's us. We have a chance to really impact them for the better. I tell my kids all the time, I say, listen, if anybody wants you to succeed, it's me. Because you succeeding indirectly means that I've succeeded. Now, I may not tell you exactly what you want to hear, but I'm going to tell you what's in your best interest. And my kids know, I tell them I love them, but they know that I love them. But all of this, everything that I'm saying, it goes back to the fact that I want that leadership starts from the inside, but it doesn't stay there. It starts on the inside, but it doesn't stay there. If you're going to have an impact on the people around you, not just at your family, but even on the job, you have to be willing to have integrity. You have to be willing to step up. You also have to be willing to allow them to have the grace that they need when they mess up. Because at one time, everybody was a rookie at one time. No one started off in the big leagues. Everybody started off playing park ball or playing stick ball. Somebody started somewhere. Everybody was a rookie. So if we don't allow them to have the grace that they need, how can they truly grow? So I want to encourage each and every one of you to not only have grace and not only allow God to lead your life, but also to have integrity and leadership. But realize that leadership starts in here, but it doesn't stay there. So I want to encourage you. I want to thank Nelson again for allowing me this opportunity to come out and talk to y'all. I hope I said something that actually helped and encouraged you to make it throughout this day. And again, Nelson, thank you so much.
All right.